Remember this version of the game? I bet you don't. This is the Legacy Console Edition of the game, well known for its nostalgia on the older consoles. These versions of the game haven't gotten updates for a long time, which is why today I'll be explaining some of the glitches and weird stuff about this version of the game. Something that's interesting on the PS4 version of the game is that for some reason, if you hit a villager, it won't anger the Iron Golem, likely due to a lack of code that makes it angry if you do hit a villager. And no, this is not on peaceful mode. You can move a chest around in Legacy Edition with the piston, which is really cool as this isn't in the Java Edition equivalent without modifications, but this is just a start. Now, this glitch you can do can get you infinite loot from the following chests on screen right now, so listen here. All you need is a sticky piston and a lever. You place a sticky piston facing the chest and you place the lever and flick it and the loot that was inside the chest will pop out for you to get it. You can also do this with a regular piston, but even with two, it's painfully slow without a good redstone system. Something to note here, and it's really important and crucial if you mess up, if you do open that unlooted chest even once, you can't duplicate the items inside anymore. In any version of Minecraft, after you enchant a couple of your items, the anvil starts to show signs of wear on it, but you can actually prevent it from breaking. Once you see cracks on the anvil, break the anvil and place it back down, and now you can enchant your gear all you want again. If you have immediate respawn on, you can respawn without any weights, which is pretty cool. However, something that's even better is how you can instantly teleport back to your stuff wherever you died at. I'm not joking. If you're riding an entity, like a boat for example, when you die, you will get instantly teleported back to where you had died as opposed to normally going back to your spawn point. The zombie horse existed in Legacy Edition, surprisingly, but it doesn't really do anything and makes these horrifying sounds. Something that I found really fun to do is that in creative mode, you can enchant any item with any enchantment. Literally any enchantment. You want the knockback stick from Bed Wars? Here you go. You want an Unbreaking 3 Prismarine Brock? You know it. You want a Loyalty 3 Totem of Undying? Well, here it is. And even an enchanted golden apple with power 5, but I digress. It's so cool that when I built this island, what the hell is this? I included an elytra with all these enchantments. I seriously had fun with this. Speaking of golden apples, you can actually still craft them despite the recipe being removed after the 1.9 update. Crafted from 1 apple and 8 gold blocks, you can actually craft the enchanted golden apple, and you still can to this day. In Legacy Editions that have reached 1.13, you can X-ray by placing water right below a block and swimming up. This can be really useful in various ways. The most useful way when it comes to single player is finding the stronghold or even the portal directly. If you pick block and scroll to the right by using your shoulder buttons while looking at a bow on an item frame at the same time, you'll get a duplicated version of that item. You will need a throwable item like a snowball for example, and now take that snowball and try to switch the duplicated item. Now switch to the snowball and press the left trigger or your preferred use button, and then you'll automatically fire arrows at max power. This also works with the trident, the fishing rod for some reason, like seriously, the crossbow, drinking and eating an item, putting on an item, fireworks went on an elytra, and yes, even ender pearls, meaning that the pearl cooldown is no longer a problem. You can break Bedrock by getting 2 snow blocks and a carved pumpkin. You just have to place it in a way where it will break the block. Here's a couple of combinations that work out. On the contrary of breaking Bedrock, you can actually obtain Bedrock. Something I'd like to mention real quick about this is that you can't have more than 16 snow or iron golems in one place, and if you try to, it won't spawn and will just drop the snowballs and the carved pumpkin. But anyways, create 16 snow golems and then try to create another one by placing it in the combinations I showed earlier, and then you will be able to obtain Bedrock. Something that's really weird in Legacy Edition is the invisible head glitch. Notice how when you place the head down, it's invisible for a split second. Well, during that split second, pick block the skull, and you'll get a different duplicated skull. If you try to put the skull on, your head will disappear, which is pretty scary in my opinion. This brings me to my statement about the PS4 Legacy Edition updates. I personally don't think it's updating, but it depends on the pure definition of updating in this case. This is because Bedrock Edition and Legacy Edition are in the same application in the PS4 version, while both Xbox One and Nintendo Switch get Bedrock Edition separate from Legacy Edition. So in my opinion, I don't think Legacy Edition is updating on PS4, but it's just rather changing, which might sound like the same thing, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Xbox One Edition, on the other hand, did get an update in April of last year, with various YouTubers covering the update and what it does. Unfortunately, I don't have an Xbox One, so I'll be explaining what the update did according to the Minecraft Legacy Console Edition wiki. It had removed the download the latest version of Minecraft for free button. It had reset skins that players have favorited but have yet to own, and updated all the splash screen text to the Bedrock Edition equivalent. The references came from an IBX Toycat video, which I had left in the link in the description. Some people have submitted their own glitches and oddities, and some of them have never been showcased ever, so we're going to look through a bunch of them, link in the description if you want to submit. This glitch only works on consoles with the new autosave method. To start off, get the items you want to duplicate, then put it in the chest. Have your game mode set to survival and turn off and back on autosave. Break the chest now, and when it's broken, pause and restart the game by not exiting the game but closing the application entirely. When you log back in, the chest will still be there, you'll have the stuff that you broke, and the stuff you put in the chest is also there. This is on the Xbox 360 edition of the game, so without much info, I couldn't say if this works on other consoles or not, but if you have Title Update 70 on any of the consoles, I'd still recommend you to try this out. If you placed a TNT minecart on Bedrock level and waited for it to explode, it would break the TNT. The downsides is that you couldn't transfer the world to Xbox One edition, and it would take a while to break the Bedrock. One member of the Discord server had submitted this clip. It's really jarring, but I'll explain it. There is a baby zombie on a spider, which is kind of more of a universal thing, to be honest. You could find that anywhere. So why did I include it? Because it's really funny as hell. Spider jockey. More like chicken jockey. Have you ever wanted to place water in the nether? You'll need a water block, as of course, if you tried to place water in the nether itself, it would dry out instantly. How do you get the water block, you might ask? Well, let me show you. You would place a slab down along with the water using the water bucket, and then you would pick block, scroll to the right, and break the block at the same time to get the water block. You can actually also do this with any water loggable blocks, which includes stairs, leaves, chests, accessible blocks, and even fences. I'm sure I missed a few, but essentially it's every block that can be waterlogged. Here's a weird oddity. If you break this block, replace it with water, and right above it, place a carpet. You can place falling blocks down and it will stay on the carpet. But obviously, since the carpet is still considered a full block, the falling block stays there with no hitbox. This leads me to the plus-sided anvil, which you can do by placing 2 anvils in 2 different directions. You can actually make a lot of cool minigames with this glitch. Let me know if I should actually make a minigame using this. For this submission, there's easily a bunch of glitches I could cover here, but one of them stands out from the rest. If you have a sticky piston set up like this with 4 chests on the sides and 1 in the middle, when you flick the switch, it will turn the chest into a quintuple chest. And while the UI shows a double chest interface, you can actually use all 5 chests together as seen here. You can really glitch out various blocks in the end dimension. If you place a 3rd block above the 2nd, some properties of a block can glitch out. This happens to enchanting tables, pistons, shulker boxes, and much more. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's only when you do it fast enough. Finally, and strangely enough, you can have colored name tags in the game. Get a block of your choice and name it full of this symbol. I don't really know what to call it. Man, what is it called again? Oh right, a section sign. What? Well anyways, when you name that block, you can switch back and forth between the items, and notice how for a split second the finished item will appear on the right but then disappear again. Well, if you time it just right, you can get a name tag full of the section sign. From there, you can rename it and put it on a mob to name it. Now, if you only renamed it but kept the section signs, it would turn into a garbled mess. But if you put a letter right after the section sign, you could change its color. Now this only goes up to F, and when you try to go past that, it goes back to a garbled mess. This is actually because the colors somewhat follow the hex code pattern. This can be proven by putting 0 right after the section sign, which turns it black. My favorite is 9 with this very vibrant blue color. The submitter in question had used a lag machine to be able to get it more often. However, I've concluded that it's possible to do it without a lag machine as seen here.
Light work, baby!
And that's gonna do it for this video of Minecraft Legacy Console Edition glitches and oddities. If you have any submissions for another episode, please make sure to join the Discord with a link in the description. If you have enjoyed this and you want to see more, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Don't make it your first priority, and I wish you a happy rest of your day. See you soon.